We live in a world, a beautiful world, with 1,000 things you could put on bread and butter. Why this? Hi, I'm Matt Preston, and I've been a senior editor here at taste.com.au for almost 17 years. My first food memory is eating a commemorative nougat bar to mark the World Cup in 1966. That's the very first thing I can remember saving up money. Very first food memory I've got is that.
There's one delightful taste above all others that everyone is reaching for.
This is the Angel Delight. It's a packet of powder that you whisk into milk, and it becomes the most unbelievable set mousse. Now, it's airy, it's light, it's fluffy. This is just, I think, probably chemicals and milk. A little bit salty. A little bit sour. Lovely edge of butterscotch, that kind of toasty sugar flavour. But it's the texture. You put it in your mouth and it's made of a million tiny bubbles that all burst and evaporate. You're left with this flavour of butterscotch. After 30 years of writing about food, I have no idea about how that works. In terms of savoury, there were two things that were both associated with swimming lessons when I was really young. Number one was the frazzle, or the bacon fry, which was a little corn snack that was looked a bit like a bit of streaky bacon, and the prawn skip. Now, the prawn skip, you imagine the lightest, airiest, fluffiest prawn cracker you've ever had, and you know the way they bubble and pop on your tongue when they lay them on the wetness of your tongue. Imagine those with the really intense, sweet, sour prawn flavour. That's a prawn skip. Now, we don't get either frazzles or prawn skips in this country. Here we've got a bacon fry. There's a little bit of an attempt to try to make it look like streaky bacon. And it has a bit more like they've been made out of a reconstituted pork crackling, which is a good thing. Your prawn chip has absolutely the flavour of the prawn skip, but not that lovely way it evaporates. I grew up near a football ground, famous football ground called Stamford Bridge, and when you'd come back cold and wet after standing on the terraces at the shed end at Stamford Bridge watching Chelsea Football Club, come home for mugs of sweet tea and hot crumpets, and nothing more on the crumpets than butter and salt. The joy of the crumpet is the fact it's purely a vehicle of carrying butter to your mouth, and that's why it has the holes. Growing up, we used to have American kids come and stay with us. They would bring with them peanut butter and Welch's grape jelly, and kind of the classic American PBJ combination, peanut butter and jelly. And from that experience, and from seeing them chowing into this idea of peanuts and something fruity, came the idea of why can't we use any other jam? There's something special about peanut butter and apricot jam. And it's maybe because one of my favourite things to have on toast is apricot jam with some Worcestershire sauce. Very strange combination, but bizarrely works brilliantly. Look at that, automatically when we open that up, look at that combination. You know that there's going to be some bite there. And the same reason that apricot jam works in coronation chicken is the same reason why apricot jam works with a peanut butter sandwich. That is still as good today as it was then. What a great combination. It's hard to think of a bad childhood food snack, but I've got to say there's one, and I know this is sacrilege, and it's something that's sacrosanct to so many Australians, but really? It's like someone's taken a nice bit of bread and butter and spread gravel on it. Well, coloured gravel, why? And I didn't get it then, I don't get it now. We live in a world, a beautiful world, with 1,000 things you could put on bread and butter. Why this? Why ever?